Cheers. It's actually cool. I know that's weird. Cool?
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes, I was just going to do that. I have to go and get my phone to tell Mel or Buttercup or I'll be in trouble.
The room should be good. Balcony.
Yeah, I was just watching the helicopter.
It's been going back 3 or 4 times. So the veranda should start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And on Wednesday night, we'll just let everyone know that's it. Close the gate properly, doors.
Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me, it's the gate.
Can they close it?
Yes, you can do it from there because I've done it. You just got to make sure those two things are sitting the way they are and not around against the gate.
Yeah. That'll be good. Be good to get away for a couple of days anyway.
Well, we would have had to anyway, when you come to think of it. The day they polish it, we can't get to the toilet.
Yeah, it's not the sanding, it's the
Yeah.
finishing.
And you've got to give that at least.
Mind you, they might not do that. They might leave it for a week.
Why would you do that?
Why? Let the timber breathe.
Yeah, well, that'd be sort of a bit of a pain. Well, we'll just have to go somewhere else then, if that happens. How long will it take to dry?
Overnight.
How many layers will they put on?
Depends on the finish. Hello, baby.
Over there.
Baby magpie.
Come on there.
What if you can see it?
Is that chicken legs?
That one? I think it is.
Come on.
You can just see the magpie on the fence.
Yep.
He's going to go down and get a biscuit. Get a biscuit. Go on, it's on the table.
If I get up, I'll scare you away.
Can't you see them?
Yes.
There's about 10 on there.
You can.
We have a visitor.
Oh, your order.
My what?
Dominic.
Oh, right. Oh, we got a surprise coming. We're lazy tonight. And we ordered a pizza. Yeah, I don't always cook. Most of the time. So we're going to have pizza. And chicken things, I don't even know what they are. Very rare we buy like that, but we worked hard, so we deserve it.
Out there.
Yeah, might as well. See what we got. I said we can show people what we got. So I can tell Mel what I cooked tonight. Domino's pizza. And chicken thingies, so to speak. Like I say, it's rare. Get it every now and then. It's a little treat. Oh, there's another magpie. Come on, come down here. Don't be shy of the camera. He's coming. Here it comes. Are you excited? You can share the pizza with us. I think it's meat lovers. So VMAC, if you're there, look away now.
said something. That's why I didn't hear you.
Oh, that's a big box, isn't it?
Oh, how can you show people we had this when you showed fruit and veg before, didn't? I mean fruit before.
Southern fried chicken. Mmm. Have a look, see. Big box.
You done with that? I'll bring you water.
Okay, a big box, but only half full. See that? Sneaky. Sneaky. Big
That
box.
is sneaky.
Half full. Should test one. I think it's chicken. Oh, might be a bit spicy for the missus. Meat lovers. The parents want to come over feed. That's something I can do. Get some of those nuggets out. Close the box. What do we have? An instant camera stand. Not sure how I'm going to do it, but we'll give it a go. Maybe not. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Might be easier if I just show you, eh? Meat lovers, pizza, bacon, chicken thingies. It looks like someone got a bit adventurous with the barbecue sauce. Still, we'll suffer through it. Yeah, you can have one. Open up. There you go. Gone. No, biscuits. I shall try a wee piece of pizza. It's hot. Hello. Biscuits, not pizza. A couple of magpies looking over here going, No. A biscuit. See if you can see the buggers. There's two on the fence there, and the biscuits are on the table. They keep looking at the pizza. Go on, have a biscuit. That's mum and baby. Oh, I think the camera slipped a bit. Go on, go down and get some biscuits. Is mum going to go down first or baby? Baby, I think. Maybe mum. Go on. Oh, maybe they'll fly away. Baby's just about to come down. You're right. If they don't stay, they don't stay.
That's alright, I gotta go to the toilet.
Okay. Here comes Mama. she goes. Oh, another scraggly baby's just landed on the fence. That one's going to get a feed. Now they'll go down. Oh, your turn. There you go. Grab yourself a biscuit and fly away. All done. Right. Press the button. I don't think she'll like these. Got a little bit of kick in it. See what she says. They'd come and got one each of the three of them. Mum and two babies. Leave one for Butcher. We've got a different species bird, a butcher bird. He likes to come over this side of the fence. Come and fry some of your chicken balls. They're southern fried.
They're southern fried, are they?
Yes. All right.
Yeah, they're alright.
Get your phone.
I'll get it in a minute. A bit spicy.
Oh, told you guys that, didn't I? Too spicy? Or okay.
No, okay. They're nice. They're
Okay. Have another one? Go on.
I mean,
There
you
you go.
know, for a start, how dare we have takeaway?
Yeah, well, I don't know normally, but tonight was lazy night.
It'll go viral, start a rumour, and go against you.
Right, okay. Hello, Mel.
Hey Mel, I haven't got my phone on me, so I can't go give you a kiss and be right back.
We're having chicken bowls
Have a chicken ball.
and a small pizza.
I'll get my phone in a minute. I didn't see what she wrote. So you're doing a be right back?
Busy, busy, busy. Oh, I love a good spaghetti bog. I love a good spaghetti bog. Chicken ball, Mel? Wrap your laughing gear around one of them. They're not that spicy, but a bit.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. You can make spaghetti bog with no salt. I think this is the first ever takeaway meal we've ever shown on video. But we work hard, so we deserve it.
Oh. There's none others.
Yep, veggies are good. Garlic, onions, carrots, mushies. Garlic too high. I put in probably a meal to feed 4 people, probably 4 cloves. Little tiny bit. Yeah, you can make a bog without sodium. As you know, I put very little salt in cooking. There's more, I'll just put half
No.
out.
That's all
You
right.
want to save some of these for yourself?
No.
I'll just have a couple more. You can heat them up later.
They get a little bit.
A little bit warm?
Yeah, have a bit at a time and then.
Oh,
They're
there you go.
nice.
There's plenty in there for you. Yep, Mel wants you to save some for her.
Okay, Mel. Yeah, I haven't got my phone on me, Mel, so Steve has to read me what you're writing. It's his turn to read the comments this time.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks very much, Mel.
What'd she say?
I'm a shit secretary. There's two left. You can have one. And Mel can have the other one. Open up, Mel. Just lean forward. Just a bit. There you go. Yummy, yum. I don't know if it's real chicken, though. Yep, don't want to feed you too much. Keep that figure of yours. But we're going to Gero this week. Catch up with some family and friends. I actually did not. I had a day off today. And nor did you? You didn't do anything.
No, I did. I put the washing away.
Oh, yeah, but she means the house.
I put the washing away, Mel. Gonna have to shorten our names. Yep, that's good, M&M. You know, Mel, I used to have a dart...
Evening, Buttercup.
Hey, Buttercup.
Bit of pizza.
I used to have a dart team called M&M. Have a guess what it stood for? Can you remember what it stood for?
Yeah, I know what it stands for. Common ladies' dart team name was M&M.
Yeah, my dart team was M&M.
Go on, tell him.
Oh, a mouthful.
I'll say the first one. Moles.
No. Mandy's moles.
I said the first word.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
I even got a trophy.
Well, I've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
I always regret eating fast food. Fills a hole. Plenty of salt in this thing, I can tell you, Mel. Taste the salt.
Go get me phone.
Maybe
I'll
you
take
just
that
put-
in.
I might put those two little bits of texture in there, eh?
Oh, that's all right. I'll put them on a plate.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Maybe put them on a plate with it.
Yeah. have to go back and read Mel's comment. I missed it.
Read Mel's comment.
It's
I
up a
feel
bit
like
more.
after McDonald's, yeah, I just feel so heavy.
I missed the one before it.
Chewing crunches. Ah. How's the puppy dog? Is not in too much pain? JJ, I'm talking about.
Can you just go be right back for
Clem.
me?
She's be right back. There you go, you can watch her walk up the builder's steps. It's always funny. Take the real steps there soon. We're building a ramp to go on the back patio area, so from that little area and out about here there'll be a ramp. That way I can put the red carpet down for you ladies. Flash of cameras. No, if anyone to be for me, Mystic's pretty fit. Amy, aging warhorse. Yeah, so we're going to a town called Geraldton, where I lived for 35 years. Plenty of friends and family there, but we're only going for a few days. A couple of days maybe. Have lunch with a couple of people, have dinner with someone else, have a look and drive around the old city. We'll actually do a couple of videos and put them on so you can see where I used to live. I will drive past the last house I built, which is on 3.5 acres. I won't intrude on them, I'll just do it from the road and show you. 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It was a bloody big house. Verandas all round. I had horses, goats, pigs, chickens. All are very delicious, of course, except the horse. Never ate the horse. Did not eat the horse. Don't start any rumours. Animals are great, they really are. They're fantastic, particularly for your kids to grow up. But, man, they cost money. They really do. This is true. More rooms, more cleaning. But I think you'll be surprised. It's a beautiful little coastal. Now it's called a city. In 1969, when I arrived, everything was in black and white, even the flowers. There was not even 6,000 people there. Now there's 60,000. But there'll be a few videos you'll see. Some of the beaches are beautiful. I grew up there and dived and fished. And it was a long time ago when I got there, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But you move on in life. Some people don't leave their little villages. Trust me, it's a true story. People sometimes live and die in the same house. Yeah, so it's, if you want to have a quick look online, it's called Geraldton. Geraldtown, as in Gerald, and town, without the W. Geraldton, T-O-N. Western Australia. And I'll show you some of the trees. Remember, I keep telling you about the wind. Then we get, he's talking rubbish. We'll stop in a place called the Greenough Flats, just before Geraldton. And you will see the trees growing sideways. They come up about 5 feet, and then there's about 60 feet of tree horizontal. Because the wind's so strong, when they're young, they go, and it's so constant, that's where they stay. It's quite fascinating. And if we get time, and we're going to try and make time, we're going to take you to a little haunted place in Greenough, which was the early colonial settlement. And there's a museum there with creaky floorboards and strange movements in the corner of your eye. But we'll take you there anyway. Yes, what do you think?
Yeah, so which cyclone one did you watch, Buttercup? Did you watch
Pick my lighter up, please.
the one I sent you?
20 minutes, and now I got the notification. Yes, Adam, we have you blocked. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Adam, you know what?
I never get people's notifications. I watch their videos later.
Was just thinking about you, Adam. I honestly was. I was wondering how you were.
The Iceman has arrived. Hello, gringo. How are you? I hope you're good. Don't eat your donkey. I know you're hungry, but wait till you get home. Have pizza.
We had pizza because of you, old.
Yeah, I bought a little pizza tonight, and it was... bleh. It said meat lovers, but I bet every meat lover would have gone, what's that? Thank you, Gringo. Yep. I don't talk about those things on live streams, but I wanted to make a little video just for people, because I think a lot of people missed between the lines. I love making homemade pizza, and you will see it in the future, Gringo. Make my own pastry, pizza, base, ingredients into a really hot oven. Searing.
Buttercup, she probably left, then came back and said be right back because she forgot to say be right back before she left. Now she's gone back from a gold star back down to silver.
Oh, all right, demotion. I found you. Look, I have the ability to move the camera. Gee, it's funny. Weird.
No, just you're talking.
Buttercup will be here, sitting next to me, and then the missus will be over there, and they'll both go, move the camera. Don't want to be on camera.
People like seeing you.
Yeah, sure they do. And Danny G gets here, I'm going to surprise her. That's if she gets here. She's a busy woman. When you get here, Buttercup, on your bed I'm going to put a bottle of whiskey.
I'm
Bottle of whiskey.
I'm sleeping with Buttercup then.
Shall I go and get the bottle of whiskey and shower? About that big. So we eat rum on the cockles of your heart and your toes.
So Mel, you're back?
Oh, she didn't say I'm back. It's going to affect the score, I think. Speaking of whiskey, I tried some new whiskey the other day. Had honey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we actually had that one.
That.
Yeah, honey whiskey, we like that. Jack Daniels we have with honey.
Oh, that's easy.
Babysitter. That's a great job.
Okay, Mel.
Mate of mine got the cushiest job in the world. He had to do, you know when they open up estates and there's like 10 new houses, but there's plenty of lots to put another 200 there. He used to just go to the office at night time when the day staff, the selling staff had gone, turn on a little light, watch a bit of TV, and every 2 hours he'd just walk around to the 10 houses that had been finished. Yeah, he did that until the estate was full. So he had like 18 months work doing the same thing, good money, and then he'd move on to another estate. Brilliant job. You just check doors, windows, You know, make sure no one's got graffiti. And he said there were some instances, and all he did was call the police. No problem. He didn't do anything himself, like arrest anyone, or... I knew him because he ended up being a prison officer. That was his job prior, because he ran out of work. He only lasted 6 months. He said, I'm not doing this anymore. Intruders, I'm sure Gringo will answer the same thing. They don't want you to know they're there. So as soon as they spot you know they're there, they ain't going to hang around. A flash of the light, bang on the table. They don't want any confrontation. They just want to steal stuff like electrical cable, copper, and crap like that. They do that in the States here. You know, you get reports that someone went through 10 houses and they just cut all the copper out. Because a lot of houses, they'll run the copper through the ceiling, so it's all exposed until the ceiling goes up. These sneaky little buggers know that that's the stage, and they go and cut, and they just load up their car with, you know, half a tonne of copper, which gets you some money, but it would also get you 12 to 18 months.
That's
not worth it.
That's funny, Adam. I've got to say, one of my bosses when I worked for the council.
Hello, Shauna.
One of his previous jobs, you're not going to believe this,
Thank you.
But it's true. He was a turkey wanker.
It's true. There is a job.
Yes.
Such as it may seem extraordinary, you can, if you wish to start your career at the bottom, well, not the bottom, probably a little bit more forward,
Shauna.
become a turkey wanker. You think I'm kidding, don't you?
No, he did.
I used to have a little bit of Southern Comfort, but it got pretty sweet on me, Adam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the honey one.
No, just the plain Southern Comfort's quite sweet anyway.
It does, yeah.
Nice drop, don't get me wrong, but pretty sweet after a while. We bought 2 cartons of our favourite beers called Two Is Old. I think we've had a couple each, but we'll have that for 6 months. Truly. On a really hot day like we did the other day, nice to sit down and have a cold one, or with a meal, but we don't drink a lot. So California, always felt like I was drinking syrup, yeah. There's lots of strange whiskies, bourbons. We stayed in a butte place in Scotland, I forget what it was called, and they had a ginnery in one section, which is, I'm not kidding you, 500-600 varieties of gin, because that was the most common drink, you know, 200-300 years ago. There were ginneries everywhere. That's all you drank. Some of it was pretty rough. Got to tell you, it was pretty rough. But it's very articulated now and different flavours. But they also have in Scotland a wee lot of whiskey to choose from. Drink that one. And they're yum. Some are very mellow, some are a little bit, take your breath, eh? But most of them are after 15 years. They're yum. But sitting on the boundary, looking over at the elks, running through the forest, having a wee dram, then you know you're in Scotland.
Oh, that ginnery, that was, I can picture that place. That was at that big place, the something, not Spa. Was it something Spa?
Something like that, yeah. Really old, like, posh-looking place. But
it's on my channel anyway, Buttercup.
In Australia, people were paid in rum. In the UK, at the same time, in the 1750s, they were paid in gin many times. Money was a secondary form of exchange of goods for goods.
Oh, cool, Buttercup. Bring us a whole box.
What's that? Tell me your favourite and I'll bring over a bottle. I saw one wee bottle about 5 litres. No. We get the same scotches here. Australia imports a lot of Irish and Scottish whiskey.
Yeah,
and there is a huge difference between the two, trust me. There is a big difference.
Price-wise, it was cheaper over there, though. Even converting to money, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a bottle of scotch was probably, I think, 25 quid, which is about 55 Aussie dollars. It's about the same here.
Yeah, I used to drink Bacardi and Coke and gin, lime, and lemon. I can't drink white spirits
All the
anymore.
ladies would drink gin and tonic when I was a kid. Bacardi, oh yeah, Bacardi, white
Yeah.
Bacardi rum. Things like in the 70s was Drambuie. What's the other one? Cinzano. Do you remember the nasty Cinzano?
I say Chinzano.
It looked like Planet of the Apes, like this. But yeah, some weird drinks in the 70s. Drambuie.
Irish, which one didn't I
Used to
like?
drink rakia. That was yummy too.
Which was the one that I didn't like? Oh, we had an Irish coffee and you got two. And what
I
were
got
they?
two types. One was, well, they actually said one of them was aged whiskey and one of them was straight Irish whiskey. And one was good and one was pretty average.
Which one didn't I like? I really
The one that
didn't
was
like it.
normal. It was a little seaside town in Ireland, and we stopped in the boats, and the pub was right on the edge. It was brilliant. And they had, most people had coffee, but we thought we'd have an Irish whiskey. Benedictine, yeah, actually brandy. If you get a nice brandy, Benedictine's a nice one. Very nice. But you know what I mean? There's good brandy, there's good whiskey, and there's like, what's that stuff? What are you giving me? You know, it's something that you clean windows with, I reckon.
I do like Bundaberg rum.
Don't drink it.
Canadian Club I like, and Bundaberg rum.
No, I've never liked Bundy.
I do.
Well, I'll get you a bottle.
That's an expensive one, Bundaberg. It's a good one.
There's lots of different levels of Bundaberg. Yeah, brandy and ginger. I don't mind little sippers like that. You know what I mean, Buttercup? Like I do like, my favourite port is called Galway Pipe. Galway, obviously, from where that comes from. But it's actually made in Australia. And it is smooth port. Don't have a wee little glass and sip. Sip.
I've never heard of
7 and 7 is good. Seagram 7 and
Never
7
heard
up.
of it.
It's a mix.
Yeah, I've heard of 7-Up, but I haven't heard of Seagrams. What's the other one?
So if you come to Australia, Buttercup, if you like wine, just down south from us, you can go on a wine tour, which means you hop on a bus and they stop at about 50 vineyards. And you all have about 6 or 7 of those little eyedroppers full of different wine. Yeah, yeah.
And
Another one? What's that one taste like? I don't know. It's good.
And the other one.
And another one. And then they bring out one small piece of cheese. I mean, like, piece of cheese for 15 people to share. But then all the wines come out again. Costs you about 80 bucks for the day. See you later, Shauna. 80 bucks for the day, but you're drunk as a monkey by the time you get home.
Yes, red wine's my favourite. Merlot.
Hello, Hammers.
Yeah, you're a bit slow saying hello to him.
Oh, look, I'm not saying all the chat. Because it's moving a wee bit fast for an old man like me. I like all those types of drinks, but I don't drink a lot of them. Like say, how long have I had my Galway pipe? A year and a bit now?
Yeah.
Year and a half, and that's the full bottle. I've probably got that much left. Because I like to enjoy to sip on it. And it's got to be cold night, a real cold night outside, coffee. Finish that.
Don't you put ice in your port?
No, I put it in my Stone's Green
that's
Ginger. That's a nice drop, Stone's Green Ginger. I'll introduce that one to you, Buttercup. It's fortified wine, of course. Very gingery, hence the name.
Yes.
Stone's Green Ginger.
I don't drink that one.
And ice, it's absolutely delicious. And after a couple of them, you'll be singing, "You take the high road and I take the low. And give me another bottle of green ginger." Oh, that's okay. You always take Uber.
No, the bus take. Oh, yeah, you've got to get to the bus, so you've got to meet at a point.
Yeah, Hammers, you know the story. We don't drink Fosters. We've never, ever have drunk it.
No.
You know, if you want to drink Fosters, and I'm going to give you an analogy, if you've never tasted Fosters, I want you to go to the sink. Pick out a mild soap, you know,
Washing
squeeze
up
it,
liquid.
just a little bit, little dab in a glass. Put warm to tepid water, so it builds up. So it's nice and golden with a head on it. That's Foster's. That's why we don't drink it. Terrible.
And 4X.
4X? Nah.
No.
And the reason it's called 4X is I can't spell beer. It's terrible. It is really bad beer. I mean, probably my favourite beer, we just bought a couple of cartons called 2 Years Old, but I also like Guinness. I do like a Guinness, and I've got a carton of that in there that I haven't touched. I don't think I've any, have I?
That's because you haven't got your glass. Oh, the light just came on. Oh,
Emma said he tried it once. Plenty of Australian Navy songs. I stole them from the Irish. And one guy was singing one night. It was funny. I can't remember what the words were. Let's all get sloshed before we go to bed. Captains give a shit, but chop his fucking head. They make them up as they go along, trust me. After a few little merriments, they just make them up. If there's a certain, midshipman who's a pain in the ass, they'll make a song up about him as well.
Yeah, beer.
Beer.
B. We just say B.
Like g'day. Struth.
G'day,
Crikey.
g'day.
You know, the word crikey is used. I'm not telling you it's not used, but it's not used very often.
Ooh.
We'll make some songs up when you're here, Buttercup.
Hey, Buttercup, if I have had enough to drink, I can fly a plane if I'm on it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry.
Yeah.
Or beer. A beer.
B. It's like I say dance.
Funniest ad I ever saw in Australia. It was a beer ad, but it started off these two. There was a Jillaroo, other words, a female rouseabout, which is bush men and women, herding
Cowboy.
cattle and whatever. And they're going into a pub and they sit down, they're knocking the dust off, get the menu, and the bloke leans forward to the waiter and says, "Do you actually have any Lagrange 1957? And the woman looked funny at him. This is the other Jillaroo. She said, 57? Surely you mean 59. The ad eventually came out with these two big cold beers from a company. The bloke said, "Yeah, stuff that. Let's have a beer."
Yeah, fair income. Gronk is your favourite Aussie word.
Gronk.
Damn it.
That's a bit of a slur, actually. It's along the lines of buffhead, blonk, gronk, numbnuts.
Yeah, it's funny that different beers really. Coors, and I don't like Coors. It's like I don't like, what's the other one? Corona, where you stick the lemon in. I don't like that either.
We've got some beaut breweries in Australia. Truly, there's
And
hundreds of them, isn't
We've
there?
got microbreweries as well.
Some only have like 3 or 4 big vats and make a limited edition, but they draft it in the pub. And some's okay. The one down at that in Bassendean that we've gone to, that one. Some are pretty average.
The little pub or the
yeah,
big
no,
one?
the little pub. It's like
The one near the fish and chip shop, you mean?
yeah. Some of them are a little bit.
Yeah, because we tried 2 different ones there, didn't we?
But it's each your own taste. I mean, I'll sit down with say Adam and go, "This one's a beauty." I'll be going, "How do you drink that? Didn't your mother teach you anything?"
I mean, we've tried different beers, but I always go back to 2 Years Old, which is a dark beer.
You like Ultra?
But it's not as dark as
Yeah.
Guinness.
You got a job, mate? Nah, not interested. Oh, so you're
I
a
don't
dull bludger.
bludger.
Australian barmaids are very funny too. Like you'll have a big busty barmaid at the bar and you'll have these blokes looking up and down the tap thinking, "Oh, that one's bitter, that one." And after about 5 minutes she's tapping her foot and says, "Look, are you just going to stare at my tits or are you going to buy a beer?" most people go, whatever you recommend. Like the barmaid just laughs. Because they weren't looking at the tits, they were looking at the 15 labels of beer.
No, I don't like Corona.
Bacardi, yeah. And my favourite beer is Modelo Negra.
Tay Cotte.
I've had a few Mexican beers, not Coronas, but there are some good Mexican beers. I can't remember. Maybe they were some of those.
I'm glad you spot that out, Old. I think he's realising that I have problems pronouncing some words.
No, what he realises is the dialect of saying it is how he's breaking it down for you. Because, like beer...
Beer.
Actually, most Australians don't say beer, believe it or not. They want to get a cold one to wrap their laughing gear around.
Yeah, that's a good saying. Wrap your laughing gear around that.
Modelo. Modelo's a wine here. Yes, and if you like wine, Buttercup, you'll be spoiled here. You can buy a good wine for about 7 to 10 Australian dollars, or about 3.5 to 5 quid.
What's that?
Wine.
There
is some nice wine in the low brackets as well as
but
high brackets.
not like the real cheap ones though. We've tried some of them and
Got any of those good ones left?
Oh, about 3.
Yeah, we've got some special reds.
I just hope they haven't been affected by the heat.
I think because, people who go to a pub will drink 7 or 8 beers. They drink the same beer every time they go to the pub, without fail. They sit on the same seat, and if you're sitting there, they'll look at you as if, say, mate, I live here, but they'll have the same beer. They'll have 7 same beers. Whereas if you drink at home, you're more likely to try a few different beers. You can sit wherever you damn please. But in Australian pubs, they're just like Irish and English pubs. People sit in that chair every night. So if you happen to walk in with your missus and she sits there and I sit here, the bloke will just stand next to the missus, looking at her like a sheepdog, you know what I mean? Oh, we've got some nice reds you can try.
I've got a picture of the red one I used to like at the Riverstone RSL, which I actually have to try and find, because that was a nice red wine.
Oh, I think the ones you got in there are better, by far.
Yeah, but...
Because they're about 50 odd bucks a bottle, so they are good.
Yeah, but on,
they have to be good.
On par with taste, I actually did like the one and it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure how it's just, as someone walks in, as they sit down, he goes, dunk. Knows exactly what they're going to have.
Yes, you get to know them, don't you? All right, we've got to find out where Hammeds works, and we'll go there.
It's very cold where Hammers works. Very cold, trust me.
Okay.
2 beers. You're what we call a 2-pot screamer in Australia, Adam. You'd be a 2-pot screamer. A pot is a 10-ounce beer. Here comes 2-pot Iceman. Serve him his beer warm, because his lips are always cold.
No, we just usually have 1 beer.
Cheap date.
Depends if we're socialising or if we're out, maybe we'll have 2, or I'll...
This is what happens. I'll go and I'll get a beer first, and then I get a big bottle of cold water. Then I'll have another beer.
Yeah.
I'll have another big bottle of cold water. I've done that forever.
And what do? I have a beer, red wine, and a bottle of water all lined up, and I take a bit from each.
You get really good coffee here. You really do.
Yes, we do get good coffee. I've got to say,
like the microbrews, we have micro
cafes.
How they cook the bean and stored and aged and all these sort of things. So some really larding. You can buy a coffee can cost you $10 here, or it can cost you 3. Beer, water, beer. It's a great combination.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Because what happens when I sip the water, it's a bit harder to drink than beer. Because beer, you go, oh, you're a little beauty. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Get the water, you go, sip. Can't swallow a lot of that. Sip. But it works. It means you can be out for 2 or 3 hours. And by the time, if you're driving, which I rarely do, by the way, when I'm going out, if you do drive, you've got next to no alcohol in your system. If we go out for a night, we'll get a Uber.
Oh yeah, strong cup of tea. I like.
Earl's Grey we have.
No, not Earl's Grey.
What?
English breakfast extra strong.
Oh, English breakfast extra strong.
That's my favourite tea. English breakfast extra strong. The Twinings brand.
It's like if there's some good shows on at the casino. Here we'll just get an Uber, and everyone will come with us and have a great night out and come home in an Uber. I think that's true, Adam. We do like to just... I love cheeses. I mean, I can sit around all night and just have cheese, fruit, crackers. That's a meal for us. Fresh fruit, along with, say, tomatoes.
I better make sure we've got lots of tea then. Buttercup's not a coffee fan. I am. I'm a coffee fan. If I remember, wherever we go, I take my own coffee.
When we get organised in the house, I always, in the first morning, normally have a cup of tea, followed by a coffee. I haven't done it for quite a few months because I've been up so early working that time of the day that I would normally get a cup of tea. I'm sanding or painting or shoveling, or so I've been sort of throwing myself out of kilter. But I normally do have a cup of tea first, don't I?
Yeah, I still do. Cup of tea first with honey and lemon in it.
Earl Grey and Lipton Black.
I just like the taste of the English breakfast extra strong. I find the Lipton Black a little bit bitter for me. Earl Grey. No, we're not keen on Earl Grey. That's the tea that they served us in the German
It's
where we
sort of
stayed.
Soapy sweet.
Yeah, we didn't like the Earl Grey.
Yeah. Just a strong cup of tea. White, no sugar.
But I do
Really?
like peppermint tea.
Yeah, I'm not keen on the peppermint or herbal teas.
I do. I like peppermint.
Yeah, it's like what you grow up with, I suppose, Adam.
Now, your tastes do change.
But you make sure you bring a little box of Yorkshire Gold with you, because you ain't going to find any Yorkshire Gold here.
What's Yorkshire Gold?
Tea.
Oh. No, you're not going to... I've never seen that one. I'm going to have a look next time we go to the shop now.
There is a shop in Perth that's just tea. I found it
Yeah.
online ages ago. It's like every tea
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
and you can
imagine.
get bubble tea and all that stuff. I think
All
there's
sorts of
one
weird
just at Galleria. Yeah, actually, that was one mistake. I thought, no, we'll get a good coffee in Europe and in England. Boy, was I mistaken. I didn't take any with me, did I?
No. You've got to be careful what you bring into Australia.
If it's packaged
If you've opened
commercially,
it, don't bother bringing it.
yeah, it's got to be packaged
They just-
commercially.
They say, yep, I know it's just tea, but you've opened it. Bin. Believe me. It's funny, you know, tea doesn't really initially refer to the ones we used to. It used to be herbal teas. There used to be herbal tea houses, and it was used for recovery for sick patients. Peppermint. It's another one they used to use. I'm trying to think of that one that's a poison, but they used it as a tea. But a tea can be made out of anything. You can actually get, there's some beautiful different trees in Australia in the bush, and you just take the bark off and you boil it in a billy tin, just a big tin with a handle on it. And there's myrtle tea, you've probably heard of what I'm saying. Sandalwood type leaf, you can't use the sandalwood. Some trees you can use the bark, some trees you can use the leaves. And it goes tea colour, goes like tea. And yeah, not my cup of tea, but
Yes, most teas have caffeine, but it's not as bad as having coffee. That's why I sometimes drink peppermint tea.
yeah, it works treat tea tree oil. It's a go-to for lots of things, like, so you got mozzie bites on you, just rub a bit of that on. And another one we use it, and truly we do use it, and you won't like what I'm going to say, but we use goanna oil. Now the goannas are not caught by non-Indigenous people. They're caught by Indigenous people and they make a living out of it. But they actually render the fat from goannas with other things, but it's actually called goanna oil. And there's another one called emu oil.
But they are specially farmed.
Yep,
They're not
yep.
taken
So you're
from
looking
the
at a
wild.
product that was used thousands of years
They're
ago in this
farmed,
country
yeah.
for pain, joint relief. Adam said, I smoke a joint and the mosquitoes, I don't even, the mosquitoes, when I smoke, they were that big before I licked up tote and that disappeared. They're all over my body, I know, but I mean, I can't see them.
I have tasted goanna. I don't like it. So I'm not that keen on kangaroo either.
Emu's all right.
Or I'm not keen on emu.
Emu's nice. Kangaroo's nice. I won't force Buttercup to eat kangaroo. Just a nice small koala steak. No, we won't force any upon that yet. Man, I grew up eating rabbits in the UK as a kid, and that was the most common food. Rabbits and meat bones
I can't even.
with broth,
Yeah.
barley, cabbage, onions. You name every root vegetable, I've eaten it.
Emu, goanna, kangaroo do not taste like
And
chicken.
there's an appetite tree. Or... Yeah, it is good. It is very, very good. It's a very lean meat.
It's its own taste, isn't
And it's probably, if I wanted to give you guys a taste of it, what I would do, I'd cut the little fillet of roux up into little chunks, you know, ½ inch, put them on skewers, but I would marinate them in something like a very mild curry. Very mild, so I'm not hiding the flavour, but when you eat it with a little bit of a marination, it tastes like beef.
You've got to do something with
Because
it.
the marinade sort of opens up the pores. It's a very tight grain meat, like deer. If any of you guys have eaten deer, and I've eaten deer, pretty similar.
See, I don't agree. Kangaroo, goanna, emu, and there's another one I've tasted. They have their own unique flavour. They're
So
gamey.
does pink and grey galah.
Yep,
I used to eat them.
Very strong
Not on
meat.
purpose. I used to get fed them.
And yes, Adam, they don't. None of them taste like chicken.
Oh no, the galah's pretty close.
The galah, but not the others.
You can eat wombat. It's eaten only by
No.
Indigenous people.
No.
But yep, they eat wombat here. Aboriginals here can eat anything they damn well please.
They're allowed.
Turtles, we
yeah.
can't eat turtles.
But they only take certain times of the year, certain animals. They don't just go take them just for the sake of taking them.
Yum, that sounds beautiful.
Oh, how was your storm, Buttercup?
A bit windy here tonight.
We've got your winds, Buttercup. Did you survive the storm?
Any time I come across pork, I just want to egg and breadcrumb it and have like pork schnitzel. Love pork schnitzel. Now, if you get a nice pork chop with a big bone, you know what I mean, a ribeye, and then you beat it out, it gets that big, but you cook it with the bone on. Mwah. My grandmother was native, but I don't consider myself Native American. I'm British with a tribe, okay?
See, that, when I go to America, that's something else I want to go to, a genuine Native American area.
Yeah, no, you need to get permission, but you can
I
do
know,
it.
I'd love to go meet and sit with them.
They don't all like, they don't look like the guys off F Trip. Normally just wearing shirts,
What?
cowboy pants and boots.
I know that.
She's going to go, how? I'm
No.
white girl from Australia, you know,
I'll just go-
kangaroo.
I'll just go, g'day, mate. I want an Indian name. I
Right.
want them to give me a name.
Maybe they've got dogs and they can name you Little Shih Tzu.
Jesus.
Ah, dear.
Oh, that's good, Buttercup dying off.
I'll go walking through the, you know, the
What would
area,
they give
area
you?
of the Indians, and they go, oh, it's Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Bigfoot. 22 degrees minus, bloody cold. That'll make you short and curly straight, that's for sure. There's some funny things. When you're tall, I had a guy get road rage he was having a go at everyone. And he started yelling at me, so I got out and stood up. He was like 4'9". And I said, I can't quite hear what you're saying, mate. Do you need a step ladder?
Yeah, Bigfoot.
And he walked away.
Well, it would have been interesting, old. I just like other sort of looking at other cultures and if they're sort of like genuine.
There was an ad in the late 60s. It was an Indian chief dressed up, and he's sitting around a fire, and these tourists are there, and Japanese cameras and all that around, and he was sitting there very quietly, and they said, do you eat deer? And he said, no. And do you eat moose? Indian guy just went, no. Japanese guy said, what do you eat? Indian chief said, Spam, because it basically is as goodness in the can. It was an ad for Spam, of course, but I thought it was hilariously funny. This tourist wanted to see him hunt down a moose or a deer or a wild Native American kangaroo.
So,
but I pulled out a tin of Spam.
Adam, what does moose taste like? So I bet you
it's nice.
Got its own unique taste.
I'd eat
Same as bear.
I've seen enough shows where people eat it to see what it looks like, and people said, I'd eat it in a heartbeat.
Moose, bear, what else do they have? What else would you eat in the wild?
Other than Spam?
Yeah, well, that's...
Well, there's one tip I can give you all, and that is if you're really hungry and there's nothing around, but you find some eggs of whatever, lizards, snakes, birds, there's not an egg on the planet that will kill you. Good to remember. Get up to the nest where all these seagulls are, and there's 20 eggs, think, oh, you should eat them. Yeah, eat them.
So
they're good for you.
A lot of people eat bear. I mean, I don't think Box goes out.
I think they only eat the unarmed bears. Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the eagle.
Okay, I won't eat... Oh, God, I wouldn't do that. I love eagles.
It's what if your palate is limited and you don't like wild boar, for example, some people turn their nose up because it's darker meat, but it's bloody beautiful. Trust me. It's in their head. Like, people already have it in their mind they're not going to eat like that. I won't like it. And even though they haven't even tasted it, they won't like it. Even if they did taste it, say, no, I told you I didn't like it.
That could be because of what it is. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the concept of, say, eating snake or...
Bugs, yeah. I've tasted it.
Can you imagine, Buttercup, if you've got family and friends around and they say, oh, we're really looking to your cooking, and you go, yep, it should be good. And then on the table you put 3 cooked rabbits, casserole, say. And they say, what's that? You say, it's rabbit. They'd all look at you and go, what? It's rabbit. Try it. No, I don't eat rabbit. What do you mean you don't eat rabbit? You never tasted it. You know that people that say, I don't eat rabbit, haven't tasted the damn thing. 20% battery. No, you don't.
You can't eat.
You can't eat them anyway, mate.
You'd die. You're not allowed to for a start. Plus, you would die if you ate one.
The only thing they eat is eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah.
You know eucalypt oil? That's what they taste like.
It's poisonous.
I'd eat moose, not a problem, Hammers. If you put a moose sausage on my plate or a bloody big slab of stuff, I'd eat it. There's not many things I wouldn't eat. And I'd actually be going, oh, that tastes a bit like beef, but it's a... And I'd just make my own mind up what it tastes like. No, I don't think I'd eat dog, but I mean, everything's relative. Some countries eat animals like chihuahuas.
Yeah.
I like chihuahuas, but not on the plate.
No, I suppose.
But those same people would say to me, yeah, but you eat kangaroo. Cute little ears and little...
That's funny, isn't it?
Everything's got a relative point. But no, I wouldn't eat chihuahua, because it'd cost you $2,000 a plate here.
Oh, so you didn't know that you were having it, old.
Kangaroo 2 days ago, really... actually, they were wallabies, which are smaller kangaroos. A big kangaroo gets 6 foot, 7 foot high. The wallabies were about 3 foot high. 3 of them... A kid was playing on the oval. And 3 of these wallabies come up and scratched the bugger and bit him.
They sort of 3 of them ganged up on him. They still can't understand why they did it.
Yeah, it might be something to do
Look,
with the females and...
The other thing is, I'm not blaming the kid, but he had his brother with him. You don't know, did the kids actually... Well, no, if the kids had thrown rocks or something, they would have hopped away.
I'll just answer Hammers. If you reviewed eating a platypus, you'd spend 20 years in jail.
Yes.
There are so few of them, and you wouldn't want to eat them, trust me.
And what did Adam say? Beaver. He reckons it's not as good.
I know you can eat beaver lawfully in certain parts, but yeah. Beaver, yeah. Tell him what eating beaver in Wales means,
Oh,
Buttercup.
I trust you, Buttercup, because it's the same in Australia. I didn't even think
You're not there
I
finding a little koala down there.
didn't even think of that,
Just
Buttercup.
a wee beaver.
And I didn't know till I finished the sandwich, I've actually had horse meat. And I nearly spewed after I found out, but I have to say, it was nice, but never again.
Oh, Gringo said, I tried beaver one day, but I don't like it. I prefer salmon.
See, I haven't had alligator.
I've had croc. Very fishy. It's all right. I honestly would eat anything if I was hungry, and I would head to water. The world turned to crap. I'd build little humpies and huts all up and down the coast, and I'd eat a lot of fish.
I could not bring myself to eating bugs in Thailand. And
Lobsters, crayfish, prawns.
No, and in Vietnam, those bottles with the alcohol with that whole animal in it. Oh, God, I had spew come up in my mouth and had to walk away. Remember in Vietnam, the bottles with the whole, what do you call that animal with the hard skin? In the bottle, in the drink.
Armadillo?
Yeah.
Yeah, they eat anything over there.
In the drink. They give you the, oh. No, can't do it.
I'd eat bugs, no problem.
Oh, they passed off horse meat there. Oh, really? Yeah, again, it does have a different taste.
The safest bug to eat are ground worms, as in not just a normal worm, but, you know, worms that turn into other things. You can eat all them. High protein. We have a thing called a widgety grub in Australia. It's about 3 inches long, maybe 4. It's probably about 3/4 inch thick. It's sort of milky white, and all you do is pick up the head and you eat it, and it tastes like walnuts. Hard to believe. Masses. Insects give you far more protein than meat ever will.
Yeah, those.
Trust me, Adam, if you're in our little group and we're just cooking up some widgety grubs, you're sitting over there chewing on a bit of bark.
I'm with Adam.
And after we're going, oh, what do you reckon? Oh, bloody
I'd have
beautiful.
to be starving.
Yeah, stuff the bark. Give me one of them worms. Pangolins.
What are they?
They're like an anteater off memory. If I'm correct, Hammers, like an anteater. Sort of long snout off memory. And they live in a dirty little environment too. I wouldn't be eating one of them. But it's amazing, you know, the foods we consume now, we all overeat. We really do. We crap more than we should because we eat more than we should. You can get away by eating just a fairly minimal diet and then on occasions filling up on a big feed, because that's what our ancestors used to do. Bit of this, bit of this, bit of that. Oh, whale! We're good for a month. After that, bit of this, bit of this, bit of this, bit of that. Big feed.
A cross
That's
between
how we
an
developed.
anteater and a possum. Oh, really? No, I haven't had possum either. Before someone
No, you
asks.
don't eat possum.
No,
They eat leaves like that too.
Same
so
thing.
Terribly.
It'd kill you.
The dragon. We've actually got several
Oh,
large
yeah.
lizards that look like dragon in Australia.
Have we got the monitor lizard here?
You can eat, I mean, even though this might sound disgusting, you can eat cockroaches. You really can. Not alive,
Oh,
I would
Adam.
suggest.
No.
I'd eat squirrel, no problem. I would eat most things.
And what do they taste like, old?
Squirrel, it's all right.
Or have you had it?
Yeah, when I was younger. They used to kill red squirrels in England because they've taken over. Or was it the grey squirrel? Buttercup, which one is it that's... I'm pretty sure it's the red squirrel that's introduced. And you were free to catch as many as you like. And they're big buggers too. Well, I'm saying big, you know, that big. Oh, they used to just go in the pot with potatoes, carrots.
No, I've never had squirrel or possum.
And believe it or not, it's quite okay, even though you go, no way, it's quite okay to eat rats and mice.
Not nowadays, I wouldn't.
No, but you can eat them. There's not much that we eat of those things today. But if we're 200-300 years ago,
Oh, raccoon, gee.
you'd eat it.
Well, yeah, people used to eat all that sort of stuff, didn't they? I mean, eating raccoons always associated with a hillbilly, isn't it?
One of the best things I read up on anthropology, those people that live near the ocean, and things like stingray or shark, they used to just cut it really thin strips, probably about 4 inches wide, but very thin, hang it up and dry it. But they also would get, and they make their own salt by dehydrating salt water. And so they'd salt all their, and that practice still happens in Scandinavian countries today. They have seasons to catch certain fish. They dry or pickle tons of the stuff. And that's what used to happen. So if you live near the coast, if you can't catch something on top, you go underneath and hunt. I could seriously, even at my age, catch a big feed for a dozen people in about an hour by going under the water. But like I say, they're all things that I've done, and I've never killed an animal that I didn't eat. Hog meat made hot cheese, bologna made out of bread. Yeah. I remember my grandmother saying, here, try some of this brawn. I'm going, never heard what brawn is. Bit salty, a lot of gelatinous in it.
Ooh.
It was okay. It was all brains, and you name it, it was in there.
No, couldn't do that, old. And no, I couldn't do that either, Adam, no.
Another little tip, when you go on any beach around the world, as long as it's sand, okay, not UK pebble beaches, but sand, and the UK does have sand in some places, small places, but they do have it. Where the tide comes in and goes out, you'll see a line, and you wait till that line where the water starts washing up to it. You dig down there. Now some people call them pippies, or whatever you like. They're basically a clan. All around the world, you see little bubbles, top of the sand. Dig down about 2 inches, clam. That's good for you, good protein. So you now know you can eat any egg on the planet and follow the way line, it's called, where the sea comes in and the sea goes out. There's a line, and when the sea comes in again to that line, you see the bubbles because that's the water going down to be filtered by the little clams. I'm not a big fan of clams.
Did I say that right, old? Like, I'm
I eat 'em.
German. I can speak it and understand it, but I'm not very good at reading it. Braunschweiger.
Good cheese is good if it's prepared right.
I mean, you say the name head cheese. It's to
Yeah,
me,
there
I
is.
think I'm getting
You did
cheese.
right there, Hammond.
I did say it right. So brown.
But your natural instincts would take over. Your stomach would say to your head, you're going to eat it. Your head was saying to your stomach, no, you can go without. The stomach would be on here, you reckon?
Yeah, like brown, yeah.
You can go without food for an extraordinarily long time. You will get weak. I mean, you can, I think the old story is 3 days without water, 30 days without food.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt me
But
to
that
do
means you're
that,
dead.
actually.
But you can certainly source water many ways.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if all of us went out in the bush, because we're older and we've done some of these things, I might be very good at construction and hunting, so that'll be my two jobs. Other people might say, I understand the local mushrooms, what will kill you and won't kill you. That'll be their job. And in a day, a dozen people can gather an enormous amount of food. It means, though, that in your area that you've taken the food from, the resources are reduced. So you probably have to be a little bit nomadic by going up and down, which is what I said before. I build little humpies every couple of miles. That's how you do it. You don't take all the resources out of one area. Canada was blanketed with water for 6 months. Yeah, it's a very extreme temperature country, not from hot to cold, but from temperate to freezing.
I got a dressing gown on. It's cold here tonight.
Yeah, it's down to about 26.
And I'm cold. Oh, I just feel the cold too easy.
It's an interesting thing, though, if you think about in your life what you have eaten is knowledge, knowing that, well, you can eat it again. Not a preference, like if me and Hammers went out hunting and all we could find is some food that we sort of don't really like, but we know it's okay, well, we'd still gather it and we'd still eat it. What does Adam say? Supplied spam salad. Ooh. Look, I mean, if you've got a dozen tins of spam in your survival kit, it's okay. But I'd probably store something else.
Jeff Lawton.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of Old's favourite
Australians. Yep. But it's not as if, and someone said to me once, okay, well, you actually sell seeds and you know how to grow seeds. And I'd say, well, they're not always going to be available. In a time of crisis, they'd be very limited. But people get 50 seeds in a packet and think they've got to plant all of them. You don't. A lot of seeds will last 5 to 10 years. Some seeds will last thousands of years. Pumpkin seeds, wheat, any hard grain will last a very long time. But how much do you need to grow? Well, it's one of these simplistic things. There are growing seasons. And someone said, oh, I'll grow lettuce. And I said, if you were just eating lettuce, you are going to waste away. You need something hardy, like root vegetables, and it doesn't have to be potatoes, because you can't store potatoes for more than 4 or 5 weeks.
Love potatoes.
Unless you put them in a gas chamber. But pumpkin seed, you can store forever. Now, one pumpkin seed looked after will give you 8 to 10 pumpkins. Pretty simple. So what it means is, you know, if someone gets a packet of 50 pumpkin seeds and there's a growing season for pumpkins, I'd grow about 6 of them. So I'd have between 30 and 50 pumpkins, because pumpkins like butternut, or you call it butternut squash, we call it butternut pumpkin. I want you to test it one day. Get a butternut pumpkin from a veggie shop that's still got the stem on, just a little bit of the stem. Put it in your cupboard. Don't do anything. Just put it in the cupboard, close the door. 8 months later, go back to the cupboard, pull it out. Oh, it's still good. It's naturally encapsulated in its own preserve, the skin. So pumpkins, not only in the seed form, last a long time. But if the world turned to crap, very few people are going to have potatoes. Very few people. But pumpkins, everyone can have. What can you do with pumpkins? Well, you can roast it, you can boil it, you can mash it, you can do whatever you like with the damn thing. And it's got all the same starches. It's better for you than potatoes. And things like yams or sweet potato, you can store them a very long time. And if you've ever grown sweet potatoes, you know that you think you pulled all the sweet potatoes out. Come the start of spring, all these shoots come up from the sweet potatoes you didn't find. Yeah, cooked squash with the seeds in and complained. Really? There are little crunchy bits in there. Acorn, they last a very long time. We have many different varieties of pumpkin. We have Queensland Blue, we have Jarrahdale. They're all very hard skin. But trust me, the smaller the pumpkin, like a butternut, lasts an extraordinarily long time. At least 8 months stored correctly. In other words, out of the sun, out of any light. If you want to, the old trick is to wrap them in one sheet of newspaper and twist it, put it in the corner, forget about it. And that means you've got a larder full of pumpkin. You'll be thinking, yeah, what's for dinner tonight again in these hard times? Pumpkin soup. Yummy. Squashy. Squashy. So if you just do one thing, just in case the world turns to crap, buy about 3 or 4 different varieties of pumpkin seeds. Just put them in the cupboard and forget about them. Because believe me, pumpkins grow relatively quick, between 12 to 16 weeks. If you live in a colder climate, they actually grow faster. Mother Nature says, come on boys, hurry up, before the winter kicks in. But you can actually leave pumpkin in the field if you want to. They can freeze. By thawing, they will split a little bit. But over winter, they're stored.
I've used spaghetti, what is it called? Spaghetti squash for pasta. Actually stringy when you cook it. You call it spaghetti squash, don't you?
Yeah, not real fussed on it.
What is it? Oh, squash is a Cherokee word. Squash. Oh God, I can't even pronounce that.
Well, it's like people think gourds, they make good containers and bird, but you can eat gourds in the younger stage. Take them off, chop them up. You can eat gourds. Yeah, we sold spaghetti squash for quite a long time. It was very fad. People went through it. Was tons of the stuff went out. But it's just a funny dish, you know. Boil it up and then get your fork and mix it all up. Looks like spaghetti,
So
but it's really pumpkin.
How did you pronounce the squash?
Squashy.
Squashy. Squashy. Squashy.
Yep, actually, old Gringo, some of those things you just mentioned go back thousands of years. They had spoon-type things 3,000 and 4,000 years ago, out of gourds. No, you'd have to be looking at preserving food. Amazon, what I'm talking about, if you and I were in Canada and spring come and near the end of spring we've got to start catching, say, salmon, or we've got to catch deer, and we'd be preserving it, drying it, whatever, deer jerky. You eat with the seasons. And of course, I know in the Canadian winters, you've got things like different bird species, which means that you have available at certain times birds you can eat, and eggs.
That turn on? You mustn't have turned that on when you plugged it in.
No, I didn't, I don't think. But you can preserve most foods, like seafood's very easy to preserve. The oldest way to do it is to cut your fish into strips and then grab a big bunch of them and then go back into the ocean, cover them with seawater, because you're actually putting salt on it, unless you've got salt to put on them. But then you can just hang dry them. And I've dried fish in probably, well, in my country pretty quickly, 12 hours, sort of firm.
Weirdo.
Get a, yeah, weirdo, we don't talk about that on my lives, but,
Well, we
you're probably right, but I did a little video today saying what I wanted to say about no one in particular. We're talking about preserving food and surviving the Armageddon. Yes, you can. You can powder a lot of different types of foods.
Fine for a lawyer. I mean, that's just a funny comment.
But some of the easiest, like I say, easiest foods to preserve are seafood. It's been done for thousands of years. A lot of different cultures do it differently. Scandinavia, they pickle some fish. Lots of different types of pickle, and some of it's really stinky. But dried fish is fine. For years, I remember when I was a kid, cod was always dried. And how they used to reheat it, they'd put it in milk. And it's to this day, a lot of old people in the UK will still cook their cod in milk. There is a lutefish, even though I know what you're on about, Gringo. There is a lutefish in Australia. Big long nose thing, actually. But like I say, in my country, we are just full of animals and fish and crayfish and lobster. So what does that mean? Well, I used to hunt for all those things anyway. And if people around me didn't know, I'd teach them how to trap. Trapping's the easiest thing in the world. You know, like humans, animals are creatures of habit. There'll be 9 twigs, bit of bush, bit of a rocky area, and every day they take the same path. Every day. Now, if you go to a creek area where there's water or billabong, and you just sit and watch, just for a couple of days, you don't do any hunting at all. You watch when the animals come down, when they go away, what type of animals come down at certain times of the day, and then after a couple of days you have all the information you need to catch whatever you want. How big a snare you need, what you need to catch them, and a lot of areas in Australia have big tides, so you can either get a net or make a net or fish trap, and you catch big feed every night. If you know, like I said once before, the biggest thing that is lacking today is the knowledge. If the power went out, no internet, no food around, shoot at the fan. If you have absolutely zero knowledge, your chances of survival are also pretty close to zero. But if you know stuff, and you're willing not to eat every day, which is something some people can't do at the moment, but you'd have to, and eat plenty when plenty was there, and eat little when little was there. If we only went back 100 or 150 years, you have to say, well, that's what they did. They ate plenty when plenty, and little when little. What did Adam say? Elbow is sure gone. Yeah, mate. I think all of us that have watched that debacle over the years would say quite clearly, when he leaves his, let's say, his accommodation at the moment, it's just going to turn into pure rage, followed by tears and more rage, pointing accusations, more crying. But like me, I'm pretty sure you all realise the end is near. The final curtain.
That reminds me, I need to do a
I've
welfare
ate my
check on Mel.
shawarma there. My mother's left me in this curtain. When they went out, so I could chew on the pit. Oh, yeah. I think with this process of entitlement, and I'm not going to do a big rant, but it's not just a generational thing. It's the entitlement. I can remember when I was a kid of other people doing similar things. You know, you've got to give to me. When you'd say why, they say just because. They actually believe it. We get good shawarma in Australia, but we only had it every now and then. Yeah, go on, rub it in, buttercup. People only come on and say, oh, sorry, I'm eating something delicious.
But if
Smiley
you're
face.
eating, is that what you said you're cooking before you're eating that meat or something?
Yeah, but Gringo, in my knowledge for hunting, you never take mature animals at all. There's 2 reasons. One, you might be knocking out the breeding stock. And if you're taking younger goats, younger pigs, etc., you actually keep the ecosystem going. It's far easier for a breeding pair to have another baby or babies than it is to take one of the breeders out. Even though it's a bigger animal, and in the old days people knew that. They wouldn't take out the big animals, they'd take out the small. Or some would take out the lame. That was, I remember in Native American culture, they'd eat everything, but they would look for those that are lame or not well, and they'd kill them first, because they're doing 2 things. One, they're making the group stronger, and they're eating something that really was going to die anyway.
Yes, buttercup, don't.
The sizes of the ear were much smaller when I was younger. Yeah, I don't know if that's true here, but we get a lot of different deers here. Yeah, that could be one of the reasons, is the feed, I think. I mean, the truth in Australia, because where farms are and there's crops growing, kangaroos are enormous. Big, flat guts, tall, big, strong, based on the fact of a couple of hundred years of agriculture is an easy food source. In the bush, in the spinifex where there's no crops, they're quite lean. Have you had mule deer? No, I haven't. I know donkey is eaten a lot around the world.
Well, they used to make salami out of donkey. I don't know if that's allowed anymore.
Yeah, we do. We have people that are paid to eradicate goats, pigs, you name it. Some of the goats I have seen, I wasn't willing to shoot. They are enormous.
What was pigs?
Goats,
Oh,
I've
goats.
seen. Pigs that are feral are quite mean. But in the past, hunting for pigs, we'd pick a couple of pigs and make sure they were the smallest, and then we'd set the dogs on them. The dogs would get them in 2 sets and just hold them, and then we'd kill them. The size that we would go for, you'd say, was a suckling pig, so it wasn't very old, but a huge feed for a dozen boys to eat around a campfire.
Yeah, but we've had wild pig problems. They've had to go in.
No, there's people paid to do it.
Yeah, because especially the real big ones, dangerous.
I think, Buttercup, all animals have different muscle groups, and in certain parts of an animal, like, cow, there are very tender loins and there are very tough bits. You just learn which ones are the ones that are tough and the ones that are tender.
Well, actually, not sure, but if you've had salami, Buttercup, you would have had donkey. Well, in Europe, salami's made out of donkey.
Salami is basically 30% fat anyway.
I think it's changed now, isn't it? I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore.
No, in Europe you can't do anything like that now.
Oh,
you can't
here.
put offal in sausages and things like you used to.
Well,
when I was a kid, there was offal in sausages,
I actually have
but they're not allowed to do it anymore.
have
It's
to
got to
look
be all the beef and maybe seasonings and.
what salami's made of.
But Italians make salami with about 30% fat for a very good reason. If you didn't, it'd be like eating a very dry biscuit. They eat horses nearly all around the world. Some places ban it. But in France, you can definitely get a big feed horse.
Yeah, and some of those nomads, they eat horse when they're doing their travels.
We would all sit down at a campfire and Hammers would walk back with the donkey. He's killed it. He's gutted it. And we'd have this discussion.
Well, I'm not walking with Hammers
and
then.
People would say, I don't really want to eat a donkey. It reminds me of a horse. And I'd be going, okay. And we'd have about 2 hours. And that during this time, Hammers is actually roasting the donkey. The smells and the crispy, and the fats and the... And we're all sitting around saying, yeah, fuck it, let's eat it. That's what would happen. Try a bit. No, I don't want to. Try a bit. Oh, I don't. No. All right. Oh, give me a plate full of that.
I've never had camel either, Adam.
Camel is eaten in Australia.
Yeah, but I haven't had it.
There are more camels in Australia than anywhere on the planet. We export thousands of camels a year to Saudi Arabia. True story. You will. It boils down to your mind will suggest out of your maybe values of ethics that you don't want to eat donkey. But then your stomach will have a conversation with you over a period of time, maybe a few days, that, let's just eat a little bit of donkey and then move on to parrots.
Well, I ain't going hunting with you though, Hamid. I ain't helping you take a donkey down. Take seeds with you.
You will? It's because what would happen initially is that all of us will be eating food that we don't normally eat on a regular basis. You wouldn't eat lots of fish and you wouldn't eat lots of lobster.
But I have a choice right now, so I can choose.
I agree. It's like, what if? Well, the what ifs, if it comes. I've always taught my kids that, you can kill and eat whatever you need to if necessary.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, some of the things that may be sacred, but during times of famine, they were eaten. Don't worry about it. They were eaten. And they'd be saying, like if it was a Native American tribe, that they are sorry for what they're doing, and maybe they have a ceremony before they ate it, but they'd eat it. they'd be saying, well, the gods or whatever, times are tough, we've got to do what we need to do. And then after that, they'd go back to making those particular animals sacred, but not in times of trouble. Is that donkey ready yet, Hammers?
I mean, I love salami, so I've obviously had donkey meat, but like I said, I've got a choice. I wouldn't go out.
No, I wouldn't eat anything alive. I'd make sure it was put to death humanely. But it's
yeah, I don't get that eating it alive bit either.
I mean, our food source at the moment comes from the fridge, doesn't it? Or the cupboard. That's our hunter-gathering process. Go to the shop, gather, no hunting required, proteins in the freezer, other foods in the fridge, stuff in the cupboard. All that is a process of what we've been doing for 50 years.
Sometimes going shopping can be like hunting.
Yeah.
They can be pretty barbaric shoppers, I tell you.
The Donna Pass is quite famous. Yep, not unheard of.
Is that
hence my reference to you will eat anything.
Is that the mob that got lost or something? That
Just starved. Pioneers.
What about that plane crash?
Oh, you're talking about the one in the ice?
Where they ended up?
Well, they did,
Yeah.
Butt cheeks.
Yeah. Was that a football team? Yeah.
Some of them were, yeah. I wouldn't. Look, I mean, if someone died in amongst our group, they'd sacrifice themselves for the odd butt cheek to keep the rest of us going. Buttercup says, I'm not dead. And I say, you're nearly dead.
I could
Bring
provide.
out your dead.
I could provide the fat.
Well, yeah, I don't know whether, like I say, I'll contradict myself. Probably there are some things I wouldn't eat. Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about, old green guy.
Yeah. But I'd also heard about the one that you mentioned too, old, yeah.
Yep. I mean, there's
Lord of the
the
Flies,
natural,
yes.
the animalistic side of us is real.
To survive.
And it will do whatever needs to be done. First thing, if all of us survived the Boyd Airlines plane crash, and there was no food left, that it all got spoiled and whatever, but we're in an area where there are some resources to build shelter. Well, a couple of us will be getting in to build a nice big shelter and protective barriers for animals, whatever. A couple will be shooting off to find water. A couple will be going looking to get some food. And none of us would have to tell each other. We'd just be saying, I'm going hunting. I'm going to try and see if I can get something. If someone said, I'm going to go and check for water. It's natural instincts that would kick in. And people say, oh no, but there'll be a leader stand up. Not really. Under survival conditions, if there are 6 of us, we all stand up. We all say, well, that's what I can do. This is my skill that I know. And there is no leader. You know, if people provide the shelter, and people provide the food, and people provide the water, they're all important. We don't have to worry about that, mate, because we live in a house, got to turn the tap on and open up your fridge. But when it comes to our own resources, and I love looking into anthropology. 2,000-3,000 years ago, there were really groups of like between 15 to 30 people. But that's a natural balance. And it's usually half men, half women. Sometimes it was different. But they'd be associated with another tribe. And they would always do crossbreeding. Like they'd have a couple of girls they want to give to that tribe, and then maybe 2 of those pigs would come over here. It was all just logical and lateral thinking, because interbreeding is disastrous. So they knew that. There's not much that you could teach the ancients about what we should have done. They did it.
Yeah.
I mean, in New Guinea, a famous story about 15 years ago, one tribe member killed another tribe member, and the story was they asked him why he killed him, and he said, oh, I don't know, this reason, whatever it was. And they said, all right, well, we need to take your life, or we need 20 pigs. And they said, we can't afford 20 pigs, we can give you 8. And they said, okay. It's a factual story from about only 15 years ago. So someone got murdered, and the deal was they wanted 20, they negotiated down to 8, because it left them with some pigs, and they had now 8 extra pigs. So 8 pigs covered the loss of someone's life.
Yeah, the royals interbred, didn't they? What is it? You're legally allowed to marry your third cousin or something.
Second cousin.
I thought it was third.
I'm pretty sure it's second.
Or something.
Yeah, there have been many tribal wars in New Guinea. There's places in New Guinea we still haven't been to, as far as what's there. We go, it's just jungle, leave them alone. Welcome back, Cotter.
Mel, I've nearly sent out a Buttercup to do a welfare check on you.
But I'm not talking about doom and gloom. There are times in each of our countries, power failures, long-term power failures. Were they guinea pigs? I don't know about Papua New Guinea. They have a sort of a guinea pig type thing there too. It's called something.
Oh, that thing that's slightly bigger. I can picture that animal. I can't think what it's called. Yep, I know.
They eat it.
I can't think of the name. It's got a slightly bigger snout, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird looking thing.
Yeah.
But there are
chicken.
in Australia, we've actually got wild turkeys. They're protected, by the way, but there's lots of them.
Nutra.
Would I eat one of them? Yeah, society's broken down. There are no laws.
I don't know what a nutra is.
Wild turkey it is.
Maybe.
It's not a whiskey. It's a bird.
So, Mel, did you have dessert? Were you off making dessert? Nutra. I'm not sure old. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, yeah, pet turkey. I know.
They are the noisiest things you can imagine, Mel. They get into everything. I've had a couple of turkeys. I'm just doing wifey snuffs.
Yeah, I can picture this animal. It's not very big at all. Funny little...
Welcome back, Adam.
Now. Oh, welcome back, Adam.
You must have an ice storm. Yeah, but mate, they're loud as buggery.
Shrew. I think, hang on, I've got to go Google that. I think it's a
I reckon Prince Charles could jump out of a moving aircraft at 10,000 feet and just glide himself in.
I think it's a shrew. Yeah, is that what we're thinking of?
No. I'm thinking more like a piggy-looking thing, but it's a marsupial.
Oh, yeah, just enlarge the picture. No, not a shrew. What's the other one? What's the other one? Old said I have to go back in to have a look.
Could be tapir. That's what
T-A-P-I-R.
Yeah, see the I-R-E-R. Tapir's quite a big, edible animal.
T-A-P-I-R. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, they're the ones.
That's it.
Yep. Just enlarge that one. That's the one that they get in New Guinea. That little bugger. Tapir.
It's a funny looking animal, isn't it?
It's pig-like.
I could have that.
We'll turn it into bacon no matter what.
It's like it's got the start of an elephant nose, but it decided, no, it can't grow anymore. I'd have one of them as a pet. That'd be so cute.
I'll put one on the Barbie.
No.
Just call me bacon in the morning.
All right, Mel.
Just touch my hand before you leave. Just make me bacon in the morning, darling.
A mole. I know what a mole is. I suppose someone eats moles. Adam?
More importantly, the world is not in total turmoil at the moment. It's a bit edgy at the moment. But what do we normally eat? Well, based on anthropology, we eat 20 times the amount of meat that we used to do.
I don't.
No, on general, people eat 20 times more protein, I should say. And I know that if you mention the word vegetable at an American airport, if you land, they arrest you because you're not allowed to eat vegetables in America. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But the stats prove that Americans don't eat a lot of veggies. Potatoes, yeah, potatoes.
All right,
What else? Well, chips, yeah. Well, they're potatoes.
Don't answer the text, Roll.
Packet chips, but they're potatoes too. What about those extruded things they're potatoes as well?
What?
Do you know what a carrot is? Don't talk about carrots in America. That's a felony. I don't see a lot of Americans eating veggies. Sorry, I'm not being rude, but I watch a lot of cooking shows where they do put veggies in, but people tell me they don't like them. Peas? No, I don't like peas. Carrot? No, I don't like carrots.
I think they do eat salads. They're big on salads over there, though. But just remember, Buttercup,
We eat tons of veggies here.
porcupines matter. No, it's not porcupines.
Tapir?
No. That's the animal you were helping, Buttercup. Jeez, I forgot. That's because I'm tired. Echidna. No. Hedgehog. Got it. Hedgehog. That's it. I knew I'd get it.
A lot of the native animals in England are under pressure. Yeah, I used to get moles. We used to get moles as a kid, and they nasty little buggers. They are. Bite you on the finger without even looking twice at you.
I've been bitten on the finger by a weasel. I nearly fainted.
No, I agree. No, we're meant to be an
Yes.
animal that eats everything. We are the truest omnivore on the planet. We humans eat everything. And that's what we were designed for. That's why you have teeth and sizes, mild crushes, and big heavy molars.
Wisdom teeth. I mean, why do they call them wisdom teeth?
Well, they were used thousands of years ago because a lot of grains were consumed,
I understand that.
a lot of eating.
But what a name. Wisdom teeth.
Yeah, well, they didn't call them wisdom teeth 3,000 years ago.
No, I understand, Buttercup. Last resort, we know. But right now I have a choice. I mean, I've cut down even more on my meat.
Can you imagine the world's gone to pot, 18 years pass, we're all in this little jungle area, and then we find a box, and Hammers and me look over it, and Buttercup's going, what is it? We somehow break the lock, and we open the lid very slowly, and there inside is about 40 pounds of chocolate bars.
Oh, that's mine.
That becomes a new currency. You realise you're now the wealthiest person on the island. Ah, there'll be chocolate.
That's mine.
And behind us is Adam thinking, if I get rid of seeds and get rid of hammers, I'll be the chocolate king. Yeah. It's funny how something like
Adam.
that would be like, wow.
I'd be controlling the chocolate. Me and VMAC. Oh, she must be having a good camping trip, actually.
Truly, I mean, this might sound ridiculous, but scientists have proved this as a fact. And you would fart a lot, or I'm going to pretext this by saying you would fart a lot. If all you stored as emergency food were tins of baked beans, A, they'll last for 50 years minimum. B, it's a great source of fibre and protein. C, I'll tell you what I said at the start, boy, you're going to fart a lot. Baked beans?
Baked beans do not affect me as bad as they affect you.
But I work on it. My stomach's in full gear.
I tell ya, same as eggs. Do not affect me as bad as they affect this one.
Oh, you're being a little bit exaggerative here.
But chicken, on the other hand, I have to admit, affects me more than you.
Baked beans. Apparently it's got 90% of what we need.
Yes.
So there's 10% lacking. Beano.
Well, you know, it's natural. We all do it. If anyone says they don't, they're lying.
I mean, I've never seen anyone do a YouTube week on just baked beans. Can you imagine that?
I can't do it. You
What
should do it.
What would happen is you would lose weight,
Uh,
but your stomach would love you because it's only got one thing to process. And that's the reason why a lot of people have problems, because they eat 5 different varieties of food. Stomach's going, oh, which one do we process first? But if you just had tins of baked bean, you probably need to eat, and some of you can check the calories, but you probably eat at least 2 full tins of baked beans a day. And you would be full. You really would. You'd have no friends sitting around you. But what I'm saying is that I wonder if someone's game enough to do a whole week on just eating baked beans.
You do it.
No, I come up with the idea, doesn't mean I have to follow through. And cold cans of baked beans, not heated.
Well, our grandson likes them just straight out of the
Yeah.
tin, doesn't he? He doesn't want them heated. It's like when
I'm
you
going to
have-
look into the calorific intake of a tin of baked beans. You know, a big tin. I think it's 8 ounce in the US. Might be 16, I don't know. It could be a 16 ounce. We have little tins, medium tins, and big tins. But by just eating baked beans, you're not having any carbs. A small amount of carbs with baked beans, but tiny. You have a good doses of protein, minerals. That's right. In fact, during the famine in Ireland, it wasn't just Ireland, but mainly Ireland, as long as you could get milk and you could get some potatoes, that gives you all you need. There's all the minerals and ingredients within milk alone, and then you add in the starches and the other bits and pieces in potato, your body will survive. And some people did that. Not all of the potato crops were affected. Lots of them were, trust me. Yeah, I mean, I generally do buy the tins of baked beans that have got a little bit of salt, because I've tried the baked beans without salt.
Oh, we need it with just normal, don't we? It's like,
Pretty average. But then again, that gives you your salt intake.
yeah. I love brown bread, wholemeal bread. That's about the best my stomach can tolerate.
Princess is going to the palace to rest. Good night, Princess Mel.
Good night, Mel. You sleep good.
We're not going to be far behind you. Not literally, but we'll be heading to bed as well. My nightmare would be during times of distress, 20 years from now, an old man, I'm wandering around, and I find this big cave full of just one type of food. 4,000 tins of anchovies.
Oh my God, I'd die of starvation.
I think I would self-harm.
Yep.
2 tons of anchovies, nothing else.
No. Oh. The word hate is a very strong word, but I hate anchovies.
I don't like them. I'd eat them fresh.
No.
Would you?
No.
I'd eat them fresh, fry them up, bit of butter, garlic, yep, I'd eat them fresh.
No.
But not the salted sardine, fermented.
Ew.
And every big posh chef says, oh, what we do now is put
No.
2 little bits of anchovy in it. You won't notice it'll just taste like a bit of salt. Well, just put bloody salt in there. Seriously, you keep saying that you won't notice it, but it tastes a bit salty. Put salt in instead of those stinky anchovies.
Oh, sardines, any of that smells. My sister loves kippers on toast. Oh.
They were popular when I was a kid. A lot of women used to like kippers. Smoked kippers.
Yeah, my mum, my 2 sisters, straight out of the tin. Kippers,
Roll mops.
roll mops, oysters, herrings. I mean, that's all.
Well, good people. Good to catch up with you. And we're going to toodle
Oh
off.
my God, Buttercup loves kippers. Kippers, I ain't buying any for in the house, Buttercup. I'm warning you now.
I'll make a kippers for morning.
No.
She will
no.
be sitting down right
No,
down the back.
You'll be doing it outside. You're not.
That's what I'm saying. I'll say breakfast is ready.
Yeah.
She said, where? I say, follow me.
No.
Big long trek.
You just
under
give her
a tree.
the tin. If it hasn't got its own opener, you just put her out near the shed, and that's where she'll be eating
they're
the
not
kippers.
they're not that bad.
They are.
Anyway, from the cute one.
Love yous. Night.
Good night, everybody. Have a great day. If you're just starting, enjoy it, soak it up,
And
package it, and remember it.
stay safe.
And we'll see you another time. Good night.